Hi, welcome to Learn English and Practice with Marie. Today we're going to do American English Idioms lesson number 8. We'll go through 5 idioms and review their meanings. We'll also go through a couple of example sentences for each. If you like this video, subscribe for more because this is a series. Let's get started. First, I'll read through the idioms. Before you know it, pass the buck, that's the last straw, saved by the bell, not playing with a full deck. Before you know it. This means almost immediately. So the last time I used this, it was in the context of telling a friend that her child's school year would be over before she knew it. So on the first day of school, it seems like there's so much time ahead, but it'll be over before you know it. Examples are, you'll be done with the project before you know it. This will all be over before you know it. Pass the buck. This means blame someone else for something or make someone else responsible for a difficult or unpleasant task. So, an American president, Truman, had a sign on his desk that said, "The buck stops here." And what that means is that the responsibility and the passing of the blame or unpleasant tasks stopped at him because he was in charge and he was willing to own those unpleasant tasks. To me, that's the quality that makes a good manager, to be willing to take on the difficult things. So to pass the buck is to essentially give those unpleasant tasks or frustrating things to someone else, or to blame someone else for something that you were kind of at fault for. Definitely not a great thing to do. Examples are, instead of solving the problem, he tried to pass the buck to his teammate. She didn't take responsibility for the error and attempted to pass the buck to another department. That's the last straw. This means my patience has run out. So typically when you say like something's the last straw, it's the thing that pushes you over the edge. For example, when I was teaching college students in a classroom, I had a student who would come in every day late, and I would give leniency. I would let it slide. I would say, okay, try to get here on time next class. And it just went on and on like that. And then the last straw was when this student came in holding iced coffee. I was like, what? You're late and you have iced coffee? That was the last straw. And the student got in trouble for that, some disciplinary action. I also want to note that the last straw doesn't have to necessarily do with something major happening. It can be something really minor that just pushes a situation that's been building and building and building over the edge. I know later in this series, we'll probably learn about the straw that broke the camel's back. Exact same concept. Examples are, she had been patient with his tardiness, but when he didn't show up for an important meeting, it was the last straw. The constant noise from the neighbors was annoying, but the party they threw last night was the last straw. Saved by the bell. This means rescued at the last moment. The origins of this are actually very macabre. They're kind of dark. And this phrase, this idiom, came from the 18th century where people were buried with a string attached to a bell so that if they woke up from being dead, they could ring the bell and alert people that they were still alive and needed to get dug up. And obviously, we don't mean that literally when we say it now, but it's this concept that you're rescued at the last moment. You are about to get in trouble or about to have something bad happen to you, and at the very last second, you're okay. And there was actually a popular TV show that I grew up watching called Saved by the Bell that was set in a high school. That was just fantastic. Examples are, just as the teacher was about to collect the homework, the bell rang, and I was saved by the bell. He was about to be questioned about the missing documents when the meeting ended. Saved by the bell. Not playing with a full deck. This means someone who lacks intelligence. So think of a deck of cards. It should have 52 cards. If it's missing a card or more, that means that it's not a full deck. So someone who's not playing with a full deck is not doing things quite right and has problems and limitations. I want to note, though, that this idiom is used as an insult, and it would be wildly inappropriate to use it towards someone who has a disability. So just keep that in mind. I, for example, would say someone's not playing with a full deck if they are driving terribly, if someone's backing up into other cars and almost hitting them in a parking lot. I would say, oh, they're not playing with a full deck. Examples are, he came up with such a bizarre idea that I wondered if he was not playing with a full deck. Her erratic behavior made everyone suspect that she wasn't playing with a full deck. So again, those idioms are, before you know it, pass the buck, that's the last straw, saved by the bell, not playing with a full deck. Great job. There are other videos like this on this channel, and more are coming soon. I'll put playlists and videos right here. Please practice with these idioms in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!